Good morning, everyone. Um, Today is another day in the garden because I did not do what I said I was going to do, and that was to do the fish liquid fertilizer today. Yesterday. So I'm gonna do it right now to show you how I, you know, put the products into the 5 gallon bucket or even into a foliar sprayer. But today I'm just going to show you how I just prep it out for the evening or early morning feeding. So let's just take a look right quick. And also, I'm going to show you how I compost. So I got all the product laid out here on the table. And first, I think I'm just going to show you how I compost. So basically, you can use basically almost anything when you compost. Like I told you, they go that lint, little thing of bundle of lint. You can use pencil shavings, sharper shavings right there. This is not mine. This has to go back in the house before I get in trouble because this belongs to my wife's um, pencil sharpener for her students. And I just took it because I wanted to get rid of that, that debris. And then over here, I drink coffee early in the morning, so this is a whole bunch of coffees, even the filters. So that's how I compost. And also, I juiced last night, and I juiced in this was it was cilantro, cucumber, strawberries, an apple, and one half of a lemon. So that's that, and I kept it in the refrigerator. So this is gonna be sterilized very good when we get in the house. But that's just what I compost, and then I'm gonna take over here. Here is all of the other debris, which is your browns, which is your leaves, uh, and I got wood chips probably in here. I got eggshells in here. See, stick my hand in it. See, and it's some leftover soil, and this is all compost, guys. Compost, and this is like a cold compost. I don't have no chicken manure to warm it up, none of that kind of stuff. It can be warm. I'm not gonna go into full detail of how to compost, but this is what I use, and I'm gonna show you right quick. In here is a slow compost. See, slow compost. And if I have my shovel over here, you can actually see the process of it. So we have paper towel in here. We have old leaves. We have coffee grinds, brown paper bags, coffee filters, used coffee grinds, fruit, pineapples, all vegetable scraps, everything that we use fresh. If we don't, and there's nothing oily that has oil in it, and that's the main key. You do not want to use anything that is oily and that's been used with a chemical. If you use paper towel and you had like Windex or something on it, you don't want to use that. So basically, that's how you compost. You can use your lint. You can use wood chips. You can use leaves. You can use the tops of vegetables, like your carrots right there. Uh, Anything, old leaves from fruit trees. What else you can use? There's a lot of different things you can use, but let's continue to move on. Basically, that's how I compost. I do cold composting, which is a slow process. You can do hot compost if you want. You can use cardboard. That's another way to add to your compost. So let's keep moving because I gotta get going. So let's finish up. You see, as we move this compost stuff out the way, basically, I have in front of you is my fish fertilizer. And when you fertilize, when you're doing a liquid feed for feeding for your vegetables, fruit trees, etc., if you don't want to use compost, you can feed your trees, your vegetables, fertilizer. And it's basically a great source of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. And what I do usually, I use a liquid feed every 2 weeks or sometimes every once a week, depending on how I feel. Because sometimes you don't want to overfeed your fruit trees or even sometimes your vegetables, depending on what's going on during the season. We don't want to always baby, especially in the ground, your fruit trees because they won't learn how to adapt really to the environment they're in. Uh, and that's just my theory. You don't have to believe that, but my mind goes back to the old days of what they did, basically in the 1900s, 1700s, even before Christ, BC, AD, after his death. Because you think about it, they didn't use this type of liquid feeds, in that century. They used cow manure, and they used probably compost, and that was it, or chicken manure, some type of manure to feed their fruit trees and vegetables and etc. So if you don't want to do this process, you can always use compost. And the new terminology also is earthen castings as a source of feeding. But this is what I do. So basically, a great source to have in your possession is fish fertilizer, and you can use this brand by Alaska Fish Fertilizer. That 511. You can also use the seaweed extract, and this is by Neptune Harvest. Now, they also have their own fish fertilizer, and this is new, a new product for me. And they actually sent me this product, and this is my first time using this product. I'm gonna put it down here so you can see it. So this is actually a basically this is a new product for me, and it's a fish and seaweed fertilizer. So if you don't have the combination like this, you can buy it separately using a fish fertilizer. This is a basically like this is a probably 32-ounce bottle, I believe. You can see right down there how much, right there. And then you can also get the gallon fish fertilizer, or you can get a gallon seaweed extract. So basically, I'm gonna show you how I do this right quick. See, that's the water, and in here is some granular feed fertilizer. You can make it to a compost tea, and that's, you don't have to worry about that. So you basically want to use not that, a couple of drops, not that much. Okay, that's it. Cause this stuff is expensive. You don't need a lot, and I'm gonna say that to you guys. You don't really need a lot of liquid fertilizer. And I'm not measuring, so that's another thing. You can measure it out yourselves. You can read the directions. But this is enough to feed my vegetables, and a 1 5-gallon bucket is enough to feed a 15-gallon fruit tree in a container. So I'm gonna pour a little bit of seaweed ash. I don't have a lot of this, so, and this stuff works. I love the seaweed extract, and that's all you do. Now, you really want to stir it up, and I'm going to use something to stir it up. Be right back. So guys, I have my little tool here. I'm going to use an old broom stick here. And what you want to do before you stir this up, I forgot to mention to you guys that you also want to have Epsom salt. If you don't have a product called chelated iron, it's a liquid product. It has a lot of magnesium and other things to help with the leaf structure of your fruit trees, your vegetables, and flowers. It helps to get more minerals into the leaves. And so if you don't have that product, you can always use Epsom salt. So basically, I'm going to get a handful. You don't need a lot, okay? So what you do is you pour a little bit into that container, like that, like so. And you also add molasses. Now, I'm going to say that molasses helps for your flower to bloom. So any type of fruit tree you have, it will help to absorb the soil, to absorb sugar. And what happens in the soil will uptake that, which is your microbes in that soil. They love it, and the sugars will go up into the bark of that tree, for instance, and then they'll go into the veins of the other branches, and it will go into the the leaves and stuff. But what happens is it will force it to mix with bud, and it will, once the bud is out, it will start to bloom, and it will absorb that fruit. And it also, the fruit will take all of those sugars and the nutrients, and it will become sweeter. So that's just a quick um um uh basically tell of how that happens. It's more to the story. I don't really, have a lot of time to actually talk about it, but that's just a quick version of the story. Now, one thing you want to be careful of when you have fish fertilizer, you want to make sure you close this up after you finish stirring. So, basically, I'm not gonna use no molasses today, but I'm using Epsom salt and fish fertilizer and seaweed extract. You can also basically get a fertilizer, all-purpose fertilizer that has the fish fertilizer, kelp as your seaweed extract, and also molasses. And this will do the same thing, but it's basically you breaking down using all three products into 1 gallon, like I just did. So you'll take your fish fertilizer, boom, pour it, like I just did. Take your seaweed extract, boom, pour it, like I just did, and then you can add your molasses, which is a blackstrap molasses, which is basically the same thing as using all-purpose fertilizer with that molasses, like a bottle that you will see at your local nursery, garden nursery, or at a like a big box store that sells it. But that's just a way. So basically, you just want to stir this in. Make sure that Epsom salt is stirred in. Make sure that the fish fertilizer, everything is stirred in. And with the Epsom salt, you let that sit overnight, especially if you're doing it in a bucket. Now, if you want to do it very quickly, you have to take a pot of water and boil it till it gets warm, or little boil, little steep or warm. You see the steam come up. Once you see that, you add your Epsom salt. You pour the water out of that pot. Pour into like a nice sturdy container, hard container that won't melt on you, or maybe in a gallon bucket here. Add your Epsom salt, let it absorb, and then go ahead and add your fish fertilizer and your all-purpose fertilizer, or even your seaweed extract. Do that, and you're done. Stir it up, and you're finished. Okay, guys. So that's how you get your fish fertilizer for the night or even the morning prepared, and then you'll go ahead and use it into every area of the garden, from all the way from there. You'll use it gradually in a water can. You can use it, take a this Folgers container and do like I do sometimes. You can take an old pot that you don't need anymore with a handle. Do it that way. You can use a pitcher. You can even use this gallon bucket, 5 gallon bucket, and just pour gradually if you want to. Whatever floats your boat, just get it done. Feed it. Do this, and this is when you do it this way, guys. It's called soil drench. When you do a foliar feed, it is a foliar spray. You're doing a foliar feed, which is you'll wet the leaves first, okay? And once you wet those leaves, then you will spray your the leaves early in the morning, before the sun comes up. Because it's very important, because what you're doing, you're feeding the leaves to gain all this energy. And that's a quicker way for it to flower, to have more green growth, dark leaves. And as you can see, when I move, you can see that. See how dark these leaves are? That's all you have to do. Now, when you see light color, these are new leaves right here, okay, guys? See? These are new. So, you will see the difference. These are more softer than these right here. These are older leaves. You'll see the difference, guys. I've been talking too much. And until next time, guys, I will see you next weekend. And remember, grow what you love to eat. And remember to feed, not just feed your body, but feed your soul, your spirit, and grow something that you never grew before. Learn something that you never learned before. Don't be ashamed to learn and ask questions, because we don't all know everything. And we all should help one another in the garden or even in life itself. Until next time, guys, I gotta go. I gotta go to service, and I will see you at another time.